y'all, and welcome to today's video. I am so happy because my order from Melt Cosmetics is here. I bought the new Electrip palette. I thought this looked so cool. It just got to me. I want to play with it. I want to swatch it. I want to create 2 different eye looks. I want to let you know my first impression thoughts. Is this what I expect from Melt? Is it their good quality eyeshadows? Is it easy to work with? All of that. Let's jump into it. All right, this is the new Melt Cosmetics Electrip palette. I bought this as soon as it launched from the Melt site, and my order got to me. I was not planning on filming today. I actually thought this was coming on Monday, but it showed up a bit early. So I'm excited. I love Melt Cosmetics. I have lots of videos with their palettes here on my channel. I am a fan of the brand, and I was wondering what they were gonna do for 4/20 because they usually give us something, and they did not disappoint. I'm really excited to see this color story from Melt. Let me post up a close-up and swatches so that y'all can see, but I am a fan of this color story. I like that we have half warm tones, half more cool tones. I think that makes that super versatile. And then there is the option to do something more neutral leaning. If you want to stick with the brown, maybe this olive toned kind of green, but it's still a little neutral leaning. Then we have this kind of pinky peach. So you could definitely do something toned down if you want to, but today we're gonna play with color. Now, the other thing that I like about this palette is I think this is very user friendly. If you look at this, you don't know what to do, you can definitely just split the palette in 2 and stick with those shades. Like just these shades create a look, just these shades create a look, create a warm look, a cool look. But what I want to do today is bounce around the palette. I'm going to do a different look on each eye, give you my first impression thoughts, and I really want to kind of like mix both of the sides for each eye look because I do feel like Melt already did the work of laying this palette out in a really thoughtful way. Like I said, you don't know what to do with it, stick with these 5 shades right here. If you don't know what to do with it, stick with those 5 shades right here. If you need even less options, just break it down into 4s. You can totally do that. But I think this packaging is cool. It's in their long cardboard packaging. It's the pan shapes that we love from Melt. It's got a nice mirror in here. Right now, I believe this is only available at the Melt Cosmetics site. I'm not sure if it's gonna come to other retailers like Sephora or Camera Ready, but I can definitely keep y'all updated if it does. I love Melt for a lot of reasons, but I also really love that Melt is still an indie brand. They're independently owned, and I love supporting brands that aren't owned by a large parent company. That's always exciting to me. So what we're gonna do, you've seen the swatches. I want to create 2 different eye looks. I want to play with these beautiful shimmers. I so want to play with these beautiful shimmers. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shimmers and 1, 2, 3, 4 mattes. I'm a shimmer girl. We're gonna have a good time. Let me prime y'all my eyes. Let me zoom y'all in and we will create. Okay, so I'm just putting down a little bit of my MAC paint pot. I'm using the shade Laying Low to prime my eyes. This is going to just prep my eyes for shadow, everything like that. I never skip eye primer, and that's one of my favorite from MAC. You're zoomed in nice and close. You can see my skin is peeling, so don't judge me. Judge me if you want to. My skin's not looking the best. I'm just peeling. It's cool. It's not a big deal. It's fine. I want to start with this palette though, and I don't know. I don't know what I want to start with. Let's go, I can't decide. Let's start with this one. Let's start with this shade right here, Bang. This kind of peachy shade that looks so good. Okay, so I'm gonna put that shade in the front half of my crease. We're gonna do like a 2-toned crease look. So I'm just gonna start with the beautiful peachy shade right in here. Pigmented, beautiful, easy. I've got this on a Sigma brush. I think for this look, I'm gonna just be using brushes from my favorite set with Sigma. And I'm just going to kind of blend this shade. Okay, next up, I'm gonna grab for this shade Pseudo. I really wanna put the peach and the teal together. I think they're gonna be really, really beautiful. Okay, so I'm gonna just press this in first. And I'm pressing this into this outer part of my crease. So I'm not just keeping it out here in the outer corner. I'm actually bringing it up and in too. And then I'm just going to slowly blend it out like this. Just little circular motions. So far, both of these mattes are performing really well, really beautifully. So I'm just going to lightly back and forth blend. Okay, once I have that blended how I like it, which I think is looking good right now, I don't want to over blend this kind of blue teal shade. So I really want this to be like peach and then the teal. So I'm kind of happy with that right now. I want to go into Galactic Love. Ooh, I like the name. I'm going to pick that up. I just think that's cute. I'm going to pick that up on my Sigma brush, and I am going to spray my brush with a little setting spray, makeup mist, whatever. Okay, so I'm going to look down into the mirror, and about halfway across the lid, I'm going to put this shade, and then I'm going to take it out. So it's right here under that kind of peachy matte, and then I'm just going to blend this in the center. So I'm going to kind of press and then blend it, but I'm not going to take it completely over that matte teal because I want the outer corner of the lid to stay matte. So I'm just going to keep this right in the center. Okay, I'm going back with that first brush and just a little bit of that first matte that we used, and I'm going to use this to kind of buff and blend right out here, down and around like this. Okay, now we are going to go in with Head Trip. This orangey shade. This looks so pretty, and I think it's going to be beautiful next to this blue. All right, this is going to be the lid shade for the inner part of our lid. I'm just going to get that right here on the lid, and then I will slowly work to kind of fade it into that blue. Just like that. Just like that. And don't worry, I know it's looking a little unblended out here, but that is okay because I'm going to go back and blend some more throughout, but I kind of like to get the colors placed where I want them. That way I can kind of visualize how I want things to go, things like that. I can always go back and blend like right now, then I can add something else, then I can go back and blend. Remember, you don't have to like put one color down, set the brush down, and you can't go back. Like, do what you want to do. Blend as much as you want to blend. So I'm going to keep adding color and then going back and blending, adding color, going back and blending. All right, for my lower lash line, we're going to go in with this beautiful matte red shade called Strawberry Fields. So I'm going to pick that up on another Sigma brush, and we're going to press this onto the lower lash line. Now, I don't have any primer or anything down, just what I had under my eye, which is concealer and powder. So this isn't going to be as pigmented, of course, as if I put it down on top of a unset base, but she's pigmented and she's showing up on her own. Okay, I think this is looking pretty cool. I'm happy with it so far, but what I want to do now is highlight the inner corner, and I want to use Blue Heaven. This really pretty sparkly shade. I'm just picking it up on this fluffy brush, and I'm going to press it right there on the inner corner. I'm being very light-handed because I mostly want this to be like sparkly and light and fresh and not like super intense, if that makes sense. So that's why I chose a more fluffy brush and just kind of lightly tapping this on. And I think this is where we will leave this eye look. Of course, I'll do liner and a lash in just a bit, but I'm ready to move on to the next eye. Everything so far performed really well. I know I'm doing kind of a kooky color combination with the reds and the peaches and the oranges and the kind of more blue shades. But like I said, I didn't want to do something more monochromatic. I wanted to kind of maybe give y'all some other inspiration. If you bought this palette, if you were thinking about buying this palette, maybe you're shopping your stash, whatever you want to do, I just want to give you some inspiration. But I'm going to put down my eye primer over here. And the shade that we're going to start with first is this red matte, actually. I really want to pack this all in the crease. So let me lay down my eye primer and we'll go in with Strawberry Fields. Okay, so looking down, I'm just going to press this red on first, and then I'm going to blend. But first, I just want to get the red so it's red, you know, all in the crease. Over here, I kind of stopped halfway with that peach, but on this side, I'm gonna take it all the way across because I also want to see how these mattes layer on top of each other. Like I said, I'm not new to Melt. I have a lot of their palettes. I really like them as a brand. I definitely think they have some palettes that are better than others. But I want to just make sure we can layer our mattes well. So far over here, it did super well though. So I have no thoughts that it won't work well. I'm just slowly blending here now. And I'm actually gonna swap to this super light brush, and I'm going to use this now to pick up a little bit more of that red and just use this to diffuse and blend. My skin, like I said, is peeling, and it's peeling a little bit right out here. So I'm trying to like press that on and then buff and blend. But if you see, it is looking a bit odd out here. I promise that's not the shadow or blending or anything. It's just I've got some dry, flaky skin right there. So it's totally fine. I'm gonna go ahead and take this red under the lower lash line too. Not big time, that's why I'm sticking with this fluffy brush, because I more so just want like a little bit of a wash of red under the lower lash line, because I'm gonna go in with the second color here in a minute. But I just kind of want it to like wrap around like this, you know? Okay, so I'm taking that dark brown shade and I'm just pressing it, and then I'm gonna blend in a minute. But I want to take it lash line up to layer on top of that matte red, and then slowly dragging it underneath the lower lash line as well. Not quite as low as I took the red shade, but I'm just going to have that emphasize it a little bit. Okay, now for shimmers, we're gonna kind of do what we did over here. I'm gonna go in first with this shade right here. This one is Far Out. And then I'm gonna go into Magic Mush, and then I will go in with this one right here, Saturn. Now, I think that brown worked super well with the red. There's a little patch out here where my skin looks unblended, but again, it's literally my skin. Like, it's peeling. It is peeling, but it's okay, and I think it's still looking pretty good, but it's not the shadow, because the shadow everywhere else I blend it is blending well, but it's, yeah, it's here. And when I did my makeup earlier today, I was not having the best blending because like my skin's peeling. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? But let's go in first with that Far Out shade. Okay, so that, oh, that's beautiful. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. That shade, oh, that's so pretty. Okay, I'm gonna put that in the center of the lid. Wow, I really, really, really like this shade. That's beautiful. Oh, That is beautiful. That is intense. That shade right there. Oh, I've had some other beautiful shades in this palette, but that one's impressive. All right, now I've got Magic Mush. That's pretty too. Oh, y'all, I'm feeling it. I am straight up feeling myself in these looks. Oh, I love, love, love that. Okay, now we're gonna highlight the inner corner. Okay, I'm gonna grab a little bit of Saturn, and once again, just being super gentle to pick up some of that sparkle from the shade. So pretty. Stabbed myself in the eye a minute ago. Totally fine. Oh yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna do just a little more blending. I'm gonna throw on eyeliner, mascara, I'm gonna put on a lash, and then I'll come back and we'll talk about my first impression thoughts, because that's what this is, a first impression. But I will be right back. All right, y'all, here are the finished looks. We have look 1 over here, look 2 over here. If you like these looks, let me know which one is your favorite. If you would wear one of these, I am feeling myself in both of them. I will link the lashes, liner, blush, lip, all of that I'll link in the description box. But I wanted to talk about the Vita palette as well, because I've seen a couple of comments of people saying that they felt that these palettes were too similar. Maybe Melt was duping themselves. So I wanted to show you these side by side. I personally don't see it. I don't think they're duping themselves at all. I don't do comparisons a ton here on my channel, but it was just like an overwhelming amount of people saying that they felt these were too similar. I don't see it. See, they each have a red. This one is definitely a little bit more on the orange side, whereas this is more of a true red. It's a little bit darker, even like very slightly darker. I'm sure if you have this palette and you're like, I just want the red from this palette, you'll probably be fine. But this one is just a touch lighter, and this one is a touch more saturated, in my opinion. The other shade that I think people were referencing is Chocolate and Reefer. I feel like you can see a little bit here. Chocolate is definitely a bit cooler and a bit lighter than Reefer. Reefer is cool, but not quite as cool as Chocolate, and it is just a little bit darker. So I did want to show you these kind of side by side in case you were like, I heard that Melt was duping themselves. In my opinion, they are not. They are not. These greens are not similar at all. Not even worth talking about. These shades are not similar. So yeah, here were these two side by side in case you were curious. Of course, I love my Vita and Muerte palette, but I'm happy with it. We used every shade in the palette. Now, like I said, this is a first impression, so I'm going to keep using this palette. In a few weeks, I'll come back, do a speed review type video where I update you on the new palettes I've been testing, trying after I've used them even more. But we did use all the shades. I'm ready for my skin to not be peeling and use it even more. But I do think these performed like the really nice quality shadows that I expect from Melt. The shimmers are shimmering, y'all. Like, every shimmer I put down I think looks so pretty and fun. I really had a good time playing with this palette, creating. I hope whatever you're doing, you have an amazing day. Thank you so much for watching. I do hope that you will subscribe before you leave today. I would love to have you here. I post lots of new videos every single week. In fact, I have a video going up in the morning judging new makeup. So please do subscribe. I hope you're having an amazing day, and I will see you tomorrow in a new video. Bye!